Hello. Well, we've just had some good news in the family. My niece has just had her fourth child, a little boy, and her sister, my other niece, is expecting her first baby in 2 to 3 weeks' time. So I'm just putting together a baby care kit to welcome the new babies. So the first thing I'm going to make, and these are all very simple things that you can make as well, and all the instructions and the recipes will be in the box below the video. There's a little bit of writing under the video, and you can click on see more and a box will open up and everything will be in the box. So first thing I'm going to make is a herbal bath bag. So I've got dead sea salts, I've got some chamomile herbs, I've got rose petals, and I've got some oats. And oats are fantastic for baby's skin because they're so nourishing and soothing and moisturizing. So if you end up with a baby that has eczema, oats are one of the best things you can go for. So into each, these are little muslin bags that I've just sewn up this morning. So I'm going to put in a couple of tablespoons of the dead sea salt. I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons of oats. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of chamomile, which is again very soothing to skin, and the roses, again, they're very soothing for the skin. Just put in a little few extra oats. And then I'm just going to tie the top. Give it all a good shake around first and get everything kind of mixed together. So I've mixed all of that together in the bag. You could have a drawstring, but I haven't had time to do a drawstring, so I'm putting a little ribbon around the top. And this little bag can be used 2 to 3 times. That's why I've left all the parts of it. All of these different things are whole size. Some people would recommend you put everything into a food processor and grind it all down to a powder. But I think if you do it this way, you get more value out of your little bag because it will last for longer. And you can either put this into the bath and just let it sit in the bath, or you could use it as a kind of a little sponge to rub over the baby's skin. So there's one, and I'll just make the other one. It's great to make homemade things, I think, especially for babies with such delicate, beautiful new skin, because there's so many harsh and carcinogenic additives in a lot of products that you buy, you know, commercially. So when you're making something yourself, you're absolutely sure that everything in that product that you've made is completely and 100% safe for the baby. So I'll just pop those there. So I'm going to make a baby's powder now. So after the bath, when they're nice and dried, this powder will be lovely and cooling. So we know nowadays that talcum powder is carcinogenic. So I don't know if it's been withdrawn from the shelves, and maybe they're using some other product in their baby powders nowadays. But just to be sure, I'm going to make a powder myself. So I've got arrowroot here, and I'm just going to put in a tiny little bit of bentonite clay, because bentonite clay is just it's something that's going to draw away any bacteria or anything that we don't want on the new baby. So I'm only putting a little sprinkle in. And of course arrowroot is just a plant-based powder. So I'm just going to give that a nice stir, mix in the Bentonite clay just to make it even more soothing and safe, and add in 1 or 2 drops of lavender. And you have to keep stirring as you're dropping in the lavender because you don't want it to clump up. It's always nice to get homemade gifts, and it's always nice to make homemade gifts. You feel as if you're actually really giving. And as I was saying, when you've made it yourself, you know exactly what's in it. So there are no funny ingredients at all. Everything is safe, wholesome, natural, exactly what you need for a new baby. So there's enough room in there for a little wad of cotton wool or whatever the mums decide to use. Keep the lid on to keep the lovely lavender fragrance in. And in case you're wondering about clay, there's many different kinds of clay. It's all from the earth, of course, so it's all very natural and beneficial. It's been used for thousands and thousands of years for various health, to preserve health, to restore health. And the bentonite clay is just lovely because it's good for drawing away anything that is harmful. As are most clays. I mean, you can take clays internally. So, next thing is a wipe. So people buy these wipes that are impregnated with alcohol, or I don't know what they're impregnated with. They're disposable as well, which is something I don't like about them. So I'm going to make up a wipe in a bottle that can be sprayed directly onto the baby just to give it a little wipe over, or it can be sprayed onto a cloth. And what you do is you take your distilled water. So I've got 2 little spray bottles here. So they're 100 ml. So I'll probably want about maybe 150 ml of distilled water, but all the recipe and quantities will be in the box below. So let me see, what have I got there in milliliters? That's in ounces. Oh yeah, that's 100 ml. So just put a bit more in. Now, I never, don't ask me for exact and precise quantities because I don't work like that. I just throw things in. So I'm now going to add some calendula oil. Again, calendula oil is incredibly cleansing, particularly for skin issues such as baby eczema or anything like psoriasis or anything. So it's very, very cleansing and very, very gentle. So I'm just going to put in a couple of tablespoons. So this is olive oil that's been infused with calendula for 6 weeks and then strained off. And I'm putting a card up here, so if you want to hit on the card, you'll get to all the other recipes that I've made in the past. Just giving that a good stir so that, obviously oil and water will never mix, but we'll just try to emulsify it a little bit. And now I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of Dr. Bronner's Castille soap, which again is incredibly gentle. There's nothing in it. There's no additives, no perfumes. This is the Baby Mild one. We're up to almost at 200 ml, so I might just add a little bit more of the soap. And then I'm going to put in about 20 drops of lavender oil. Lavender is anti-inflammatory, lavender oil, very cooling, and again, it's going to stop any infection. So babies generally don't get infections on their skin, but this is just another way to keep the baby's skin lovely and soothed and soft and healthy and protected as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put this into these bottles. Whoops, there we go. I'll just put in a little spray top. And there you go. So you'd only need a little bit of this because it does have soap in it. And you give it a good shake before using it to help everything to blend up together again. And there you go. Completely safe, cleansing, soothing, protective. I can't remember where I got that recipe from. It's not my own recipe, but it came along to me somehow, and I'll put the recipe in the box below. So next thing, of course, is a bum balm or a nappy balm or a diaper balm, whatever you want to call it. And again, we want to keep that baby's bottom so soft and smooth, like a little peach. We don't want any soreness or irritation to arise. So this nappy cream that I'm going to make, well, it's a balm that I'm going to make. Again, we're using Calendula infused oil because Calendula is antibacterial and it's very cleansing and very gentle and very soothing as well. And some beeswax and some shea butter. So I'm going to very, very gently heat the oil with the shea butter and the beeswax until everything is melted. Then I'm going to give it a little whip, pop it into the fridge, and then when it starts to solidify, give it another little whip, and then we'll put it into the containers. I need to get a little pan and I need to get melting. Okay. So the beeswax and the shea butter has melted into the Calendula infused oil. I'm just going to pour it into this bowl and then give it a little whisk. So it's starting to cool down now. I can see it leaving a film around the edges. So it's not too hot to put in the fridge. I'm going to put it in the fridge for 10 minutes and then we'll give it another whisk and it should be a lovely creamy balm. So it's been in the fridge for about 10 minutes. It's solidifying quickly. I'm going to put in some citrucidal just to protect from any infection, you know, any bacterial infection of the balm. Because, you know, with fingers going in and out, it could get bacteria growing in it. So that's going to stop that. Just put a dribble of aloe vera, it's about a tablespoon, just so that the balm, when it is fully kind of solid, it'll still have that kind of fluffy sense to it. And finally, I'm just going to add a few drops of lavender essential oil. It's Organic Lavender Essential Oil. And not only does that add anti-inflammatory, antibacterial qualities, it also adds a beautiful soothing aroma. It makes you feel that what you're using is really clean and that you're making something really beautiful and clean for the baby. So I'm just going to pop this into the containers now and leave it for another few minutes. And then we'll give it a fluff up with the fork and that'll be it. I'm trying to share it equally between the two. And that's it. So thanks to my lovely apron that I got from my friend Florence. I've protected myself from any spills and I don't think I actually spilled anything on the apron either. So there now. So when that's set, I will fluff it up with the fork and it'll be ready to use. And so I just reiterate, I just think it's lovely to make a homemade gift for somebody. And when you're making it for a brand new baby, I feel good that there's nothing in here that you literally couldn't eat even. It's all completely natural and it's all calming, soothing, nourishing, protective, everything you need for a new baby. So I hope that's given you some inspiration if you're expecting a new baby in the family, or even for any child. You know, this can be used as a skin balm as well. Even if a child has eczema, it can be used at any age, and especially the little bath bag as well will be very, very soothing in a bath. So I hope that's been helpful. And if you're interested in learning more, there's tons of free videos here on YouTube, and there are courses on the website. And next week, the 11th, 12th of August, I'm going to be in Studio Fassa down in the Burren with a lovely 2-day workshop at the weekend. So I gotta go now, take my lovely apron off, and I'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed today's film. If you did, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a look at the website, danusirishherbgarden.com, for more information about us and about the herbal medicine courses I offer and the Wise Woman Way training. And if you go to the shop, you can find the books, the weed handbooks and other herbal goodies. And remember, we put a new film out every Sunday. So looking forward to seeing you next week.